Welcome to another edition of the West Ohio Food Bank podcast. I am your host, Communications and Public Relations Manager at the West Ohio Food Bank. My name is Jason Aldrich, and as you can see, we're kind of in a different location. We are on location, and we've been wanting to do this since we started up the podcast several months ago to give folks a little in-depth or inside look at one of the agencies or pantries that we partner with, as we have many across our 11 county coverage area in West Central Ohio. And again, we're here on site in downtown Lima at Cup on Pierce Street in Lima. Cup is the Churches United Pantry. And we have Mary Stepleton here with us. Mary, thanks for doing this.
It's great to be here.
Absolutely, and great to be here because, again, we wanted to give folks kind of an inside look at what a pantry does, what it looks like, how it operates. And so I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here, Mary.
Okay.
Give us a little history about Cup.
Well, in about 2001, there were several women that belonged to some of our downtown churches, and they decided, they saw that there was a need for emergency food for some of our families, because oftentimes in our downtown churches, we get people who walk through the door with needs. So they put together a food pantry, an emergency food pantry, and named it Churches United Pantry because there were a number of churches. And so it has evolved from there. They started small. We now have shelves of food. We serve a lot more families now. It has grown extensively.
And again, talking about Churches United, tell us a little bit about that. How many churches are involved?
We have about 10 churches that have come together that support us financially, and they support us with volunteers too.
Okay. Now, personally, how have you been involved? Have you been here since day one, or how did you start up?
I have not. I retired. I'm a retired school teacher, and I retired on June 1st of 2013.
Okay.
And the fall before I retired, I thought, I need to think about what I'm going to do after I retire. And my home church was one of the member churches, and I thought it might be a nice place to volunteer. So June 1st, 2013, I started my career here, so to speak, yes.
And so did you kind of just work your way up? Did you volunteer to get where you were? How'd that?
I worked my way. I was president of the board, and it was a smaller organization at that time. And what I was in charge of was basically the volunteers, and I also was in charge of the board meetings and coordinating all of the churches. After that, we had someone who did do the purchasing of the food, and they retired. I took that over, and we also, during that time, applied for and got a 501c3 status, which helped us immensely to grow and be able to provide more things for our families. So yes, it has evolved from there.
Again, Mary Stepleton is our guest here on this edition of the West Ohio Food Bank podcast, as we give you a little inside look at one of our agencies and pantries, Cup, the Churches United Pantry on Pierce Street in Lima. So generally, Mary, how does it work? Where do you get your food? The service times? How does all that come together?
Okay. Well, this morning we got delivery of food. We got it from the West Ohio Food Bank. We are able to order food from them, and that's where we get the vast, I'd say 90% of our food. They are able to provide us food at a greatly reduced cost from what we would have to go out and purchase it at the grocery. So we got a delivery this morning. There were 6 volunteers that came in and helped sort the food, package it up, put it on the shelves. And the volunteers also bag up our food that we hand out to our families, and they did that this morning. So yeah, that's how we got that's how we get our food. We are open 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 12 to 3. And our families just need to drive up to the front of
The front door here on
the
Pierce.
front door here on Pierce,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And then we have volunteers for each shift. And we have a volunteer that will go out to the car. They will take the information from the folks that are getting food and they will bring them in. We have a volunteer that sits at the desk and we have a program that we access so that we can keep track of how many families come and how many families we serve. And we make sure that all the information that that our family has given us is correct because we need to keep that on file. We are required to keep that on file. And then, depending on what size the family is, we gather the food for that size family and take it out to them, to their car, and then they put it in their car and they drive away.
I know when I've been out and about running errands, whatnot, and again during your advertised hours, I have seen cars lined up around the building, around the street. It does
Yes.
get busy, doesn't
It gets very busy. It's not unusual for us to have cars that are lined up in front of our building and around the corner on Spring Street and down the street. It sometimes gets kind of scary.
Yeah, we have that sometimes too with our distributions, our 2 time a month distributions, but we're trying to get it more a little organized
Yeah.
and get the gate open and things like that. So we know what you're going through,
Yeah.
Mary.
And we have, not only do we have people that drive up, but we have quite a number of people who walk up
Right.
and get their food and walk home with their food.
Again, Mary Stepleton is our guest. We're here at CUP, the Church's United Pantry on Pierce Street in Lima on the West Ohio Food Bank podcast. And, just talking about the times here, Mary, tough times for organizations like us with, talks of cutting budgets and benefits and things like that. And you're kind of in the mix on all that, aren't you?
Oh, we most certainly are, because our budget is totally donations. We don't get any government money for our organization. And when people are going to the grocery store, or our families that donate, when they go to the grocery store and their food budgets are increasing, it kind of decreases the amount of monies that they have to share with us. So we are looking at reduced funding, and at the food bank, the food that we are getting from them, their funding is being reduced, and the food that is available for them to purchase and us to get from them, and we do purchase the food from the food bank, that has reduced too. So we are struggling to keep food on the shelf and be able to provide our hungry neighbors with food to feed their families also.
Absolutely. And, speaking of watching budgets and seeing things on the regional and national scale, I just got back from a 2 day conference in Washington, D.C., an anti hunger conference where policies and budgets and all of that were discussed. So, Mary, tell us a little bit about the actual facility here. I know you have several rooms, you have refrigerators. Tell us about
Yes.
that.
The facility that we have, we are renting from Trinity United Methodist Church. They own this building. It's called the Grace House. And we have, and I can't tell you how many years that we have rented it, but we do rent it from them. We have space here to store our food. We also have shelvings, as you can see behind us, where we actually put the food on the shelf, and we bag the food for our families from the shelves, from our stock rooms. We have freezers and we have refrigerators here.
It's stuff that's definitely in need, and you probably could always have room for more, but you
Oh, we
work with
do.
what you have.
Yes, yes. During the pandemic, we were able to fully stock the pantry one day from the food bank because of the pandemic. And we stuffed every corner and crevice of this place with food. And I believe we had 19,000 pounds of food in here. The freezers were full, but it is very rare. I have not seen it that packed since then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
our usually our deliveries are maybe 1,500 pounds, 2,000 pounds. So we don't nearly, we're not nearly full. We could We have plenty of room to put more food in.
Yeah. So again, going back to when clients or folks in need come to you for their services, then it doesn't work like a grocery store, right? You
No,
have
it
things
doesn't.
ready to go for them.
We have a variety of foods that we have for them. Sometimes it's adventurous eating, but for the most part, it is food that they would probably select if they went to the grocery store. We have canned vegetables and canned fruit. We have dinners, boxed and canned dinners for them. We have cereal. Provide them a meat. We have bread, eggs when we can get them, and currently we do not have eggs, but
Hard for us to get them too.
yeah, yeah. So if the food bank has eggs, we have eggs. So yeah. So and then we try to give them a treat, and we also provide them with some personal care items too, like shampoo, soap, toothbrushes, toothpaste, toilet paper, that kind of thing.
And again, those things that Mary just mentioned there, those are the reasons why you see the food bank ask for those donated items, because folks that use SNAP benefits cannot purchase those sort of items with that. And so
their hygiene items are not able to purchase. And you and I, when we are purchasing things at the store, those are necessary. The toilet paper and the soap and the shampoo and the deodorant, those are things that are important to us. That makes us civil.
Yeah, no question about it.
Yeah.
We are here again with Mary Stepleton at CUP, the Church's United Pantry on Pierce Street in Lima, here on the West Ohio Food Bank podcast. And we'll wrap this up here with you, Mary. And again, we'll show folks a couple of different still shots of what things look like here. But before we go, I wanted to ask you about you recently being honored by Lima City Council.
I was very humbled by that. Very humbled.
Tell us a little bit about it. It was a proclamation of some sort?
It was a proclamation by the city council for the work that I have done up here at CUP. And CUP is an integral part of our community because we do have a lot of food insecure folks, and it is important for our families in our community to be well fed, because if they're well fed, they work better, they learn better, and they're healthier, and it helps the entire community.
Absolutely. So you are winding down. When are you officially done?
June 1st, I'm officially done.
Okay.
Officially done. I will still be volunteering. I was up here this morning volunteering, helping put things away, and I will volunteer on the shifts, but I am not going to be taking a leadership role. I am stepping back and letting others take over.
Great. Well, on behalf of the West Ohio Food Bank, Mary, just want to say thank you for your years of dedication and service and partnership. And obviously, we'll look to keep that going with CUP.
Thank you. It was something that I felt that I had a calling for and I should do. So it was very fulfilling for me.
All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this edition, kind of an inside look at one of our pantries and agencies that we work with on a daily, monthly, and yearly basis. We have been coming to you from CUP, the Church's United Pantry on Pierce Street in Lima. Again, I'm Jason Aldrich. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again and talk to you again next time.
Bye.